Welcome to Super Bloom, your opportunity to learn about the mind, the body, and how they connect. I am Rosie O. I am passionate about bringing people together to learn. I love studying about the body, and I will be a lifelong student of philosophy. In this pod, we explore all things related to the power of the mind and to the purpose of this life, this physical human existence. I believe we all possess the ability to thrive. We just have to learn how to tap into our life force, our creative energy. I am here to introduce unusual ideas to evoke thought, curiosity, and ultimately to help strengthen our relationships with each other. We can realize our full potential once we wake up the wisdom in our bones and activate that innate ability to thrive. Ay, I'm on vacation every single day because I love my occupation. Ay, I'm on vacation. If you don't like your life, then you should go and change it. This song, Vacation by the Dirty Heads, is about enjoying the work you do each day, whether it's work to pay your bills, effort you put into cleaning your home, or energy that you give to care for a loved one. At the end of each day, do you feel fulfilled by the work and energy that you put into your life? Do you start your day with gratitude that you are alive? Or do you mostly feel anxious about your daily tasks and wonder how you'll find the time to accomplish everything that's on your plate? When do you have a good day? Like, what are things, places, people you experience that make it quote unquote good? How would you live your life today if you already had your dream job, home, or family life and everything you imagine that you're missing now? What is your vision for a better life for yourself? Would you take longer breaks outside in nature? Would you spend more time with friends and family? Would you spend more time alone, on an adventure, a trip? Allow yourself some quiet time to actually rest during the day? If it's difficult to envision your dream life, mix up your routine in the day, and this will help flip the switch in your brain to break the cycle of negative thoughts that are repeating in your head. What do you do to keep your life fresh? Are there healthier habits you would like to develop? I have found that focusing on my breath is the fastest way to clear mental resistance and to shift my mind into a positive place. Especially when my day feels full of stressors and my mind wants to focus on my greatest fears or worries. This is when I literally say to myself, I reject the negative thoughts and take a few slow, deep breaths. As soon as I bring an awareness to my breathing, I'm no longer stuck in my head. Each deliberate breath activates the prefrontal cortex and hypothalamus in the brain, which releases the happy chemicals from the brain. Let's do a breathing exercise together now. I'm 99% sure it will clear your mind within 10 rounds or less. Start with just some easy breaths in through your nostrils and sigh it out loudly through your mouth. Feel a release around your neck and shoulders with each exhale. Imagine that you're putting down the metaphorical weight that you've been carrying. Notice if you need to blow clear the pathway to your nose and take a deep breath in and a long, slow breath out. Use your right pinky to block off your left nostril and inhale through the right side. Use your thumb to close off the right nostril too. Let your fingers rest on your forehead or curl them down into your palm and pause while holding the breath in for a moment. Keep the thumb pressed into the right nostril and exhale out the left nostril, releasing the pinky. Pause on empty and then inhale through the left nostril, keeping the right nostril covered with the thumb. Use the pinky to close off the left nostril while pausing on full. Release the thumb and exhale right side of nose. This is round 1. Pause on empty here, and then let's do a couple more together. Inhale right, pause through center, and maybe you'll want to keep going to 10 while I get into my vacation vibes theory. Exhale left, emptying the lungs completely. Inhale left, pause, closing both nostrils, and then exhale right. Inhale right, slowly filling up with new clean oxygen. Pause, release the pinky, and exhale left. Inhale left, pause, and then exhale right. Slowly. Inhale on that right side deeply. Pause. Exhale slowly left. Keep going. Inhaling on the left and then exhaling on the right. Letting each side be an exhale and inhale before switching. If one of your nostrils are blocked, release them both and just imagine that you're alternating the nostril breathing with each cycle of breath. Keep going until you reach 10, and you're likely halfway there by now. And just notice if you feel any differently in your headspace. You may feel clear, calm, and as if you wiped the slate clean in your mind. You may experience pure feelings of pleasure trickling down from the brain's limbic system. It experiences and expresses pleasure emotions and tells the body it is happy. What if you were able to find joy in all your work and what occupied your time were things you did because you wanted to, not because you had to do it to pay the bills or because you said you would? What if you approached each day with a different set of priorities than the typical to-dos, like making your needs and desires your aim? And adding to the list, remain calm amidst the chaos. Be kind and speak from the heart. Ask for help and believe you will receive everything you desire at just the right time. I'm raising a toddler, and she connects with the world through sign language, grunts, cries, and emphatic points with her hands. She loves practicing hopping like a frog and saying ribbit, and she does her best to make the sign of a frog with a fist under her chin and 2 fingers popping out with each hop. My perfect day is when I am present and aware as she explores and discovers her world. When I am present, I am available to help her identify what she's pointing at and get excited with her when we see a bird and the stars. Lately, it's the songs head, shoulders, knees, and toes, and the wheels on the bus go round and round that we sing to help teach my little one her body parts and what happens on a bus. She still gets really excited to wave and just say hello or bye G to every person she sees. All these simple things, where your head's located on your body, greeting someone, these are all things that are still so new to my daughter. When I hear her belly laugh because she's anticipating a raspberry tickle, or I hear her as she repeats D when I rest my right elbow on top of my left hand and shake my right wrist to sign tree. These are moments that I call pockets of bliss, when I feel so blessed, so happy, and completely content. These are aspects of a perfect day for me. I also love to dance, listen to music, and be outside in nature. When I'm dancing on the beach or in the woods, listening to my earbuds, moving my body, these are also moments when I feel absolutely content and connected with each moment. When I focus on creating the experiences that bring happiness into my day, the concept of needing to leave a job, home, or whatever become obsolete. So this idea of a permanent vacation, could it be as simple as changing your thoughts? Yes, I wholeheartedly believe the answer is yes. I have tested it, and what I think becomes my reality 100%. Before my daughter was born, I experienced a lot of mental stress, wondering and worrying about her birth, medical interventions, and how I would manage her care once I was working full time again. And on the days that I worried, more worry and doubt would consume me. And on the days when I connected with nature, listened to music and talks that would uplift my spirit, I would remember to breathe, be kind to myself. And instead of thinking about all the possible negative outcomes, I started visualizing how beautiful our lives would be together, laughing, singing, playing. It continues to be true for me now. If I allow myself to get caught up in what I think others' expectations are of me, judge myself negatively, or focus on a lack of abundance in any part of my life, I feel like crap. Thinking this way brings my energy down, and I no longer can see the positive possibilities that are around me. Like right now, I am shifting into a new work from home job and into a new phase with my child's needs for care. When I think about my fears, worry, and dwell on questions like, will I like this new job? How will I manage care for my daughter while also handling my new workload? It brings down my spirit and basically zaps my energy. But when I wake up and start my day singing, hip, hip, hooray, it's a brand new day. Yes, yes, yes. Smile, shine, and play. And breathe. Stretch through my side body and send positive vibes to myself, my daughter, my family, my neighbors, my country, and out to the whole universe. It shifts my perspective and aim for the day. Instead of starting the day with a reactive energy and already deciding that the day is going to be overwhelming, I'm able to see each moment as precious. An opportunity to learn something, teach someone, and cultivate deeper human connections. I want the work I involve myself in to be part of me, an extension of who I am, not something that causes anxious feelings and causes me to feel distracted from my life. Part of loving the work is about aligning the occupation with your heartfelt desires. Like, I love to be physical and could run, jump, and dance around for hours. When I taught several exercise classes in a day, I usually felt energized afterwards, not drained. And the other aspect should be about the challenge and mental stimulation. I feel neurons firing in my brain with this new job in ways I haven't experienced in a long time. It is literally waking up my dormant cells and causing all kinds of aha, enlightened moments in other areas of my life. I'm learning to honor and respect the feelings, all the feelings, as they rise and fall. Acknowledge them so they can pass through me instead of trying to block them. If I'm taking deep breaths of fresh air, moving my body, and eating nutritious food each day, the feelings of anxiety and worry can pass through my energy bubble freely. Listening to the emotions with an intent to understand instead of letting them repeat on an unanswered loop in your head is key. When I can cultivate an attitude of gratitude, it's easy to see all of this change in my life as a good thing. The reality is I have a work from home gig. This is a new approach to corporate work, and I actually have been enjoying it since I moved out to San Diego right before the COVID lockdown when pretty much everyone was forced to do it. Now, instead of working in an office with 40 or 50, or I worked in an office with over 500 people in a previous job, for the past 2 years, I have been working from my home. Being able to easily get outdoors each day and connect with nature has been a game changer for me. As long as I'm getting outside and exercising midday, it no longer feels like a 9 to 5 job. I have the freedom to go outdoors for a walk to the beach each day. I cook myself my own fresh meals, and I basically enjoy my workday as much as any day of the week. I feel free. A very important feeling I also associate with the vacation vibration. Instead of coming home from work late after a long commute, like I used to basically eat and just vegetate in front of the TV, not having to sit in traffic, I have more energy and motivation to fill my time with projects and things that are fun for me, like working on this podcast, writing the script, and recording my voice. I'm also learning how to use GarageBand, not just for laying these external tracks, but I actually used it to produce my first song from scratch called Shine. The amount of quote unquote free time I have each day varies, but no longer being confined to my car and a cubicle has shifted the way that I think about time. I want to see each day with potential for fun instead of feeling like I have to wait until the weekend to enjoy myself. What is it that brings about that sensation of vacation for you? Is it the change of your environment, the ability to actually feel free from constraints of time? Is it the sense of gratitude that comes over you when you're experiencing something new? What was the one pleasant experience from a recent trip or break from work that you remember? Were you swimming in the ocean, playing on a beach, or maybe just enjoying a long nap and laughs with friends? Or did you explore a really cool ancient church in Rome? What is it about being on vacation that can lead some to indulge in food and drinks you don't usually allow yourself to have? Is it because a vacation is a time to celebrate, because you're free and not required to work or behave? Is it that when you separate from your job or home life routine, that you find yourself more inclined to relax, smile, and try something new? Can you recall an experience when you forgot about time and felt content? Were you on a trip or just living your normal life? In that moment, your brain's hypothalamus triggered the release of happy hormones, dopamine, oxytocin, and a pituitary hormone, vasopressin. In addition to deep clearing breaths, changing up the scenery in my environment helps create a shift in my brain, like taking a different route to the store or just taking the long way home along the shoreline. I also think there's an anticipation element that creates the vacation sensation. Let's stop and think about emotions for a moment. When you are happy, how do you get to that feeling of happiness so your body secretes the happy hormones? And how do you prolong that experience? Are you someone full of dread who fears the bottom will drop out at any moment? Who worries about all the possible negative outcomes of a situation? Maybe you even worry that if you smile, it lowers your guard and makes you vulnerable to more disappointment. In my experience with worry, fear, and doubt, I have noticed that it will stay on a loop in my mind if I let it. There's actually a term, the 90-second rule, coined by a neuroanatomist, Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, about how emotions will come and go after a minute and a half unless we allow them to repeat on a loop. Jill says, when a person has a reaction to something in their environment, there's a 90-second chemical process that happens in the brain. Any remaining emotional response is just the person choosing to stay in that emotional loop. I'm aware now of how easy it is to stay in a negative emotional loop. When I consciously reject the negative thought, it's miraculous how quickly my mind can shift to a new thought. When the brain is focused on a trip to Jamaica, for example, maybe you're excited about the adventure. This is when the left hemisphere of our brain will help it to anticipate the weather, what to pack, which excursions to partake in, and if you will need transportation getting from the airport to the hotel. But if you're not cognizant of how far away you are from the present moment, even the anticipation of an exciting adventure can cause stress, release the stress hormones like adrenaline, and get stuck in a loop. When I'm on vacation and immersed in an experience, there are still moments of excitement and thrills as I discover and explore new things, but I feel more moments of peace and contentment, what I attribute the most to the vacation vibes. So my question remains, is vacation a mentality that can be adopted for everyday life? If so, what is it about that vacation sensation that could be recreated in the mind without leaving your home? How do you create something new in your current environment? Is it just shifting your perspective? Seeing that bridge you walk over every day with awe and amazement instead of not noticing that structure at all and taking its bridging of two islands for granted. And do you have to stop working entirely for the real happiness to kick in? What is it about stopping work that makes it easier to slow down and enjoy a different pace for a while? What I think it boils down to is these 5 main points or sensations. Novelty, something new in your environment, your perspective and ability to see something or someone in a new light, or just doing something new, anything. Be it a cooking lesson, riding an inflated banana in the Caribbean Ocean, or simply meeting someone new and listening to their story. Freedom. So you no longer feel constricted by time or your circumstances. This could be just granting yourself permission not to look at the clock for a while today, or maybe at all. And it could also mean freedom from appointments or plans for a bit, maybe a whole week outside of your working schedule. Gratitude. If you are aware of what is good in your world and thankful for those aspects of your life, you're taking time to slow down and appreciate the simple pleasures in a day, like your ability to identify your head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Abundance. In my mind, abundance is the opposite of lack or poverty. There is endless possibility surrounding all of us at any moment. Money is energy. Energy is abundance. Abundance is prosperity. This means when you step out of work mode, you're not stopping the flow of money to you. You may actually bring in more money if you spend the time away from work, realizing the abundance of everything that is already in your world. Abundance of friendship, support, food, shelter, water, and appreciate pleasures like rest, savor your meals, and allow yourself space to be right where you are. Joy is another way to describe my pockets of bliss and is synonymous, in my mind, with smiling and laughter. For me, laughter immediately breeds happiness. Even fake laughing has been scientifically proven to cause your brain to release those happy hormones. There are studies that examine the impact of positive emotions around stressful situations, and it's proven that just anticipating a positive outcome for a future event can improve the way one handles and responds to the stressors in the moment. The inverse is true too, so it's important to remember What we think about in the future will affect the way we handle stress today. If you have a family trip planned to explore Italy in the fall, instead of dreading all the possible bumps and hiccups along the way, let your thoughts float to a vision of your family all enjoying gelato, sitting on the edge of a fountain, sharing flavors and laughing. This positive vision will improve the coping and recovery ability of your brain. Laughter is a variation of breathing that brings a mental shift instantly. So if you have an upcoming event that you fear, like a trip on an airplane for the first time or another major life event, a way to strengthen your ability to manage stress would be to watch a funny cartoon or a movie. Laughter starts with activation of the ventromedial prefrontal cortex of the brain. This area produces those endorphins that are intended to alleviate pain. One study I read said that within 0.4 of a second of exposure to something potentially funny, an electrical wave moves through the cerebral cortex, the largest part of the brain. I attended a workshop years ago called Laughter Yoga. It was a class based on the practice people in Mumbai, formerly Bombay, India, created to increase health and wellness through breathing and laughter. I laughed so much during the class. The intercostal muscles along my rib cage were so sore after the class. It felt silly at first, pretending to pour a milkshake from one imaginary cup to the other, saying, oop, oop, and then ha, 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 ha. But the laughter quickly bonded the group, and after a couple exercises, I found myself enjoying the experience immensely. I learned that laughing helps temporarily reduce cortisol levels and stress. It improves mood and energy levels and induces a more positive mindset. Laughter may be as effective as aerobic exercise at reducing self-reported stress, according to another study. How often do you laugh? Daily? Hardly ever? If you pretend to laugh right now and just say, ha, 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 do you feel the same positive effects as if you were really laughing? I do this fake laughing with my daughter as kind of a call and response. I laugh and she repeats it, and we go back and forth laughing louder and longer. And then we end up really laughing at the way we are fake laughing. Laughing is a way to activate that vacation sensation. It is about tapping into the right hemisphere of the brain to create new synapses to help reset the circuits in your brain. A new experience cultivates a fresh perspective and lights up new areas of the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. The more novelty, the more we enhance our capacity to learn, which ultimately makes it easier for our minds to adapt to change. When we can navigate the ups and downs of life with ease and grace, we are reducing the effects of stressors in our life. And ultimately, we're changing the way that we perceive challenges from hardship to life lessons. When was the last time you felt like you were your most rested, energized self, excited to start a new day? Have you ever been around someone you noticed was a pleasure to be around? What was it about their vibration that attracted you to them? Was there a brighter look to their eyes and confidence that they exuded? As I gain more confidence in myself, as a mother, a 40-year-old woman, and as a contributor to my society in general, the less I focus on what others think of me, the easier it is to connect with my intuition. When I feel confident, I don't feel anxious. When I trust that my intentions are for the greater good of all, I doubt my actions less and I feel good about how I live my days. Maslow, an American psychologist who studied human motivation, believed a number of basic needs had to be met, like the need for food, shelter, safety, love, and self-esteem, before one can reach self-actualization. He believed people are constantly in the process of striving to reach their full potential and become the best version of oneself. Maslow said, this tendency might be phrased as the desire to become more and more what one is, to become everything that one is capable of becoming. If you do not agree with this statement, it's possible that you are overwhelmed by your sympathetic nervous system functionality. We all require downtime, rest, and we must take breaks from driving ourselves forward. We thrive on mental encouragement, not scorn, and resting should be praised as often as doing. I definitely think before any of us can live in a permanent vacation state of mind, our basic needs must be met, like Maslow's theory. There are physiological needs we all have for food, shelter, water, needs for safety personally, in our employment, and in our health. We all have a basic need to feel love and a sense of belonging too. Friendship is an innate desire, and so is intimacy, family, and a sense of connection with others. As humans, we also have a basic need for self-esteem, where we respect ourselves and receive respect and recognition from others. This sense of self-esteem is what creates a sense of strength, feelings of freedom, and ultimately leads to a desire to become the most that we can be. We begin building upon the first 4 stages from birth, when we depend on others entirely for our care and survival. We cry and scream to communicate our needs, and emotions hit us like a ton of bricks, doubled in punch because we feel it so strongly and cannot understand or communicate what we need in those moments. I remind myself of this when my 18-month-old daughter screams, pointing emphatically at a water bottle, or the plate I'm eating from, or at the who knows what, but I better figure it out soon thing. She depends on me to help move her through space, eat and drink healthy food, and she needs me to shelter and protect her from harm. As a humanist, Abraham Maslow believed that people have an inborn desire to be all they can be and aim to reach self-actualization as they grow up. But I can see that not all are consciously intending to grow or be better. This innate desire Maslow believed in may very well be true, but perhaps what the yogis call a samskara is holding some back. I think of a samskara like an imprint in the mind from a past life experience, like an emotional wound. Seeds planted in the subconscious, eventually leaking into our conscious thoughts and behaviors. Our sense of inner peace is challenged when we activate an unconscious mental and emotional pattern. And these samskaras might be infiltrating the conscious mind, preventing a shift to a positive outlook. Once I have spent enough time with past traumas, they heal, but there's no shortcut in that journey. The harder I push at past emotional wounds, the deeper they fester. Acknowledging the pain, writing about it, giving the pain a melody with song, and moving it through my body with dance, the lighter I feel. Becoming the best version of myself means as I work towards fulfilling my life's greatest potential, I allow all the feelings to flow without resistance, and I maintain faith in my ability to handle whatever challenges may arise along the way. So, what are we aiming for? What's the point of self-actualization? Have you ever asked yourself what you are aiming for in life besides monetary gain, status, or doing what others expect of you? When I first read the characteristics Maslow defines as the self-actualized individual, it resonated deeply in my bones and gave this active doer a new perspective for life, to be the best version of myself. That's it. So I'm using my superpowers for good. How do you spot someone living in a self-actualized state? Or how do you start living like you are that person today? Be spontaneous and open. For me, that means to stop following the customs I never believed in and to allow myself to live my life in an unconventional way. I mean, I continue to follow generally accepted social norms, like living in the same apartment and working a 9 to 5 job for consecutive years. But since I started working from home, I have felt my adolescent free spirit returning and a sense of adventure returning to my days. I may be home way more than ever in my lifetime, but I also have a child who benefits greatly from this stability. And I don't feel confined by the 9 to 5 social norms now that my days don't entail a 45 to 90-minute commute followed by hours of confinement in a cubicle office environment. For a moment the other day, I forgot what it was like previously and considered if working from home was distracting with my little one. And then I remembered all the years working in offices with way more than 40 people, like 500 plus people, and feeling like I could spend the entire day in unplanned and impromptu meetings if I let it happen. And now, with my unconventional approach to life, being open and spontaneous means little things, like only celebrating holidays that I have a deep spiritual connection to. Having a child is causing a revisit to rituals and celebrations in general for me. I'm still determining which ones I want to share with her. Ultimately, I'm asking the question, what will bring peace and happiness into our lives as we cycle through the seasons and years together? Having a philosophical sense of humor is also a characteristic of the self-actualized human. One who is able to remain lighthearted in life and laugh at oneself, but also be thoughtful and respectful, not to joke at the expense of others. Be autonomous and independent, someone who does not conform to other people's ideas of happiness or contentment, and who has a perspective that allows you to live in and experience the beauty of each moment. It's also important to have a strong sense of personal responsibility and ethics. Being someone who enjoys problem solving in real world situations and who enjoys helping other people improve their own lives is an invaluable quality. Are you someone who enjoys solitude and privacy? When was the last time you had a high moment, peak experience, or moments of transcendence when you experienced feelings of wonder, ecstasy, and awe? When you hear the saying, it's about the journey, not the destination, what does that mean to you? We all hold different values, desires, and capacities. So this process of becoming self-actualized will look different for each of us. But have you realized yet that you have very basic needs that must be met before you'll even feel inclined to improve yourself at all? Pay attention to your lifestyle and well-being and notice if your needs are being met. Needs that are physiological, such as clean air, water, shelter, and the ability to breathe. Basic needs for security and safety, such as financial security, overall health and wellness, and protection against injury. We also have basic social needs for friendship, family, romance, community, and religious. Or I'll take the liberty to add on spiritual organization. And we have esteem needs to be met for appreciation and respect, I need to accomplish things and be recognized for the effort. Once these needs are met, Maslow's hierarchy peaks with the self-actualizing individual, one who is self-aware, concerned with personal growth, and who is more interested in fulfilling their potential and less concerned with the opinions of others. Being a new mom and living an unconventional life, my intuition is what guides me and helps me navigate the advice and opinions of others each day. Maintaining confidence in my innate wisdom and strength is paramount. So remembering my breathing practices, taking time to be still and rest each day, and letting go of resistance to what is are the main ways that I am supporting that aim. I feel very much surrendered to what is in each day. I feel more and more open to enjoying what is with my child and not feeling like what occupies my time is work. Getting the brain to release the happy chemicals is so easy if I remember to laugh, fake or not, and focus my attitude on gratitude. By turning on the parts of the brain that stimulate stem cells, I can shift my mood instantly. I am grateful for the roof over my head, access to fresh water, delicious, healthy food, and to be surrounded by so much support and love, respect, and appreciation. The more pockets of bliss I experience in a day, the closer I know I am getting to self-actualization. But I also acknowledge and trust that healing the samskaras is part of the process in this journey in life. So how do we live on a permanent vacation, even with healing samskaras and working towards fulfilling our basic human needs? Do something new each day. Remember your freedom and forget the clock for a chunk of your day. Pick 3 things that you're grateful for as you start each day. The roof over your head, the smiling baby in your arms, the sweet and juicy strawberry you indulge in. Figure out what brings you joy and sprinkle more of that into your day. Play with your pup on the beach. Drive to watch sunset. Go for a walk in the woods. Spend a few moments being silly, fake laughing in the mirror with yourself. Oop, oop, ha 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 ha. And live like you already have everything you desire. As if you have millions in the bank, zero stress, and an abundance of everything. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Super Bloom Podcast. Visit the website superbloompodcast.com to see videos and join the online community. If you'd like to contact your host, Rosie O, you can reach her at rosieo@superbloompodcast.com. It's a super what? It's a super